Hi, this is Renee, and this is podcast number 10.
Welcome to the ITeachBlogging.com blogcast. Your host, Renee Grosskreutz, talks blog all day long and shares it all. No secrets here to help you become a successful blogger. Listen at the end of today's blogcast on how to get your free PDF of Renee's booklet, Tips on Blogging for Business. Now, here's Renee.
In this episode, we will recap a tip from the last podcast, a quick SEO tip, and then we're going to get down to it with a conversation about bad planning, the flu, and suffering from breaking the rules. Okay, so this is a tip from the last podcast, podcast number 9, be willing to fail with your blog for a long time. There's a truth. No one is going to read your blog, perhaps for a long while. I joke about this often in my classes that I teach about blogging. Not even my mom reads my blog. We have to be okay with that. While it would be wonderful if you started a new blog and the next day you had 10,000 readers, but unless you are a celebrity or just get damn lucky, that is not going to happen. So folks, let's take advantage of that. This is your time as a new blogger to learn the ropes and get used to things. So it is not all bad. Be okay with the feeling of failure in your blog for a while. It's just a feeling. It takes time to grow an audience. To learn more about this, just go back and listen to podcast number 9. So your SEO tip today is about images on a blog. I'll talk about this a lot because this is a huge SEO issue for me. But this is just a quick and easy tip that I think is an important one, and it's more just a, hey, check to make sure something worked out type thing. When you upload an image to WordPress and after you've placed it, click on it one more time just to make sure that the alt tag and title tag are filled out. When I upload an image, I always do that initial round of the image in the image library of SEO. But when I put it back in the page, the title tag doesn't show up. As a result, I always try and remember to click on the mountain and just check the image one more time to make sure that title and alt tag are filled out. I'm tongue-tied here today. So that is my quick little SEO tip. Just make sure everything's done. So now let's get down to it with a conversation about the flu and blogging and the flu and podcasting and how they do not freaking mix. I did the get started stupid fast method with my podcast. My first few podcasts were actually about how to get blogging stupid fast, about breaking all the rules of blogging and just freaking doing it. Well, that's what I did with this podcast. I've been wanting to do it for a long time. I have a lot going on, and there was just no way around it other than if I just freaking started doing it. So I broke all the rules. I had good intentions of pre-recording at least several podcasts, but I just hadn't done it yet. I was keeping my schedule and all was going well, and then bam! I got crazy, stupid sick. I freaking got the flu. I got bronchitis. I got a stomach bug. It's like I got everything at once. And this is why it's so important to plan ahead for blogging. I mean, I teach classes. I'm about to teach at SMU. I'm really excited about that. And I preach pre-planning. And guess what, guys? I myself didn't do it. I'm not perfect. And actually, I'm really bad at taking my own advice. I really have to step it up and get better about this and I just want to talk about it a little bit. And this is exactly why we always preach, have a bucket of blog posts ready. And in the case of podcasting, somebody that I really admire, John Dumas, he said that he started off with 40 podcasts in the can before he got started. And, you know, it makes total sense because I listen to him and Pat Flynn a lot. They're my idols as far as podcasting goes. And they were talking about they went to the same conference. And each of them were talking about this differently in their podcast. And they went to this conference, and it was really fantastic. And all the powerhouses were there. And there was this viral bronchitis that went through the place, and everybody there got hammered. I mean, hammered. I remember in Pat Flynn's podcast how he missed a few episodes because he was just crazy in bed sick. Well, I was in bed sick for 10 days. So I haven't done a podcast in a while. I couldn't do it. I couldn't get through a full sentence without just coughing like crazy. So I just wanted to talk about this a little bit. This is going to be a quick and fast podcast, but here's the deal. When you're really serious about your projects, which I swear that I am, and I'm sorry that I haven't done another podcast sooner, but I'm going to actually work on this, and I'm going to keep you updated on my progress. of how many podcasts I have in the can, just because that's what here our whole thing with I Teach Blogging is to be boldly transparent. We have a mantra, and one of the biggest parts of the business side of the mantra is to be boldly transparent. So that's why I'm doing this podcast, is because I wanted to be honest. I wanted to say that even I, who preach the rules, who hold classes, who write about it, still break them, and that's what I did here. So I'm hoping that you'll learn something from this, even if you just have a couple of podcasts, because I'm only trying to podcast one time a week right now. So even if I had done a couple, it would have been something. But no, I got to be stubborn, and I got to do it my way, because everything's going to be fine. But that's not always the case. So here's the way to do it right. Start off with an idea. Then get a list of titles put together. And then write your I always say first 10 blog posts, and really should be the first 10 podcasts. Have them ready to go so that if something goes wrong, because things always go wrong, or you just freaking want a break. Maybe you want to go on vacation. See, how would I go on vacation with this podcast? If I'm serious about this podcast and I want to keep it steady so that I gain listeners, then I have to do it consistently, because consistency is the key. So with blogging, consistency is the key too. If you say, I'm going to put out a new blog post every Monday, then by golly, you better be putting out a new blog post every Monday. So what are you going to be doing? Sitting there Sunday night at 2 a.m.? Oh my gosh, I got to get the stupid blog post out, because now you're going to start hating it. And I don't hate podcasting. I'm really excited about this. I'm looking for sponsors. I'm growing this. This is exciting stuff for me. But I need to treat it with the respect that it deserves. And I need to treat you guys with the respect that you deserve. If you're a listener and you're wanting to get some consistency from me, you deserve that. Honestly, I'm at the early stages of podcasting, just like the early stages of blogging, like I talked about being ready to fail. So maybe nobody's really much listening to this or even got to this point in the podcast, because they're like, Jesus, this woman's rambling. But anyway, the point is, this is my time to learn my hard lessons now versus when I'm in the future and I've really grown my audience and I'm building my business around this idea, and suddenly I get hammered sick. I have people that depend on me, and this is important, and so I need to give it what it deserves. So I'm hoping that you will start working. Hopefully you already have a bunch of blog posts in the can and you're ready to go and they're pre-scheduled. And that would be great. But I'm going to be working on some more podcasts. So I'm going to be sitting back here in this office of mine, podcasting my little heart out. So it should be quite interesting. Mostly in the end, I'm just happy that I can talk without coughing. And that is super fantastic. So I'm super psyched about this podcast. And hey, by the way, I'll make one more announcement here. I have started a membership website right now. For the current moment, it is free. So if you go to my.iteachblogging.com, you can join my membership site for free. I'm sticking up videos. Right now, I'm putting them up there as fast as I possibly can. They're tutorial videos on things like how to make changes to your WordPress blog or website. I have how-to Twitter because I own a social media company, and I'm just making videos to answer all the questions that the clients have over and over again. For example, I have clients that ask me things such as, gosh, it's been a while since I've been to my Facebook business page. How do I get to my Facebook business page again? Well, I've made a video for that. Because, well, to me, I'm like, I can't believe you don't remember how to do that. But they're not able, unfortunately, they're not able to do it every single day. I wish that they could, but they can't. So I'm making tutorial videos. So you guys can benefit from that too. It's free currently. Eventually it will be paid, but not for quite a while. So there you go. So my.iteachblogging.com, or just go to my website, iteachblogging.com, and you can click on the membership link. So there you go. And I would love to know what questions you guys have, because obviously I'm working on content, and anytime you have a question, I want to be able to provide the answer. So if you have a question, always feel free to email me at Renee, R-E-N-E-E, at iteachblogging.com. And for the meantime, blog on. Thank you for listening to iteachblogging.com blogcast with me, Renee Grosskreutz. Visit iteachblogging.com/show notes. I will have the PDF download for you at that link, along with useful links that we talked about today. Go forth and blog.